You're lovely. You're charming.
I can run a business.
Psychological trick here.
That's honesty. I'm sorry, I really lost it. I do apologise.
And makes you nervous. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of Dragon's Den Pitch Review with me, Philip Rainby, the stuttering rhetorician, your public speaker and public speaking coach. Today's episode is going to focus on a subject that I know is particularly difficult for many of you out there. I've gotten a lot of response saying, can you please make a video that are showing somebody who is dealing with nervousness when they are pitching? So if you want to learn how you can be less nervous and how you can deal with this situation where your mind goes blank when you are doing a pitch and presentation, well, buckle up for the fourth episode of Dragon's Den Pitch Review.
Hello, my name is Dennis Fuller. I'm here to tell you about my new company and my new product, Golfer's Mates. I'm looking for an investment of £100,000 for a 12.5% share. I'm sorry, I really lost it. I do apologise. Hello, my name is Dennis Fuller. I'm here to tell you about my new company, Golfer's Mates, and my new products. I'm looking for an investment of £100,000 for a 12.5% share in the business. And I've gone blank again. I'm so sorry.
Now I know that some of you might think that this pitch is just destroyed from the beginning. But here's the case, that Dennis is actually dealing with this situation in a fairly good way. First of all, he is nervous because of one thing. And this is what I want you to know. When you are doing a presentation, standing in front of people, performing public speaking, you are going to get a rush in cortisol and adrenaline. These are two stress hormones that makes you nervous. And these are just some of the symptoms that you get from having high levels of adrenaline and cortisol in your body. Now ask yourself, is this something that you want to have and feel when you are performing public speaking? I think not. The best way to deal with reducing nervousness is a technique that I've learned specifically as a person who stutters, because my adrenaline and cortisol levels has been controlling my stutter in a negative way. And the single best technique you can use in order to reduce your stress levels, your nervousness with up to 80% is by breathing correctly. And I know that that can sound silly, I know that that can sound boring, but it's the truth. I would not be able to stand here today doing this video and presentation, speaking as fluently as I do today with just a few blocks and repetitions if I hadn't mastered this breathing technique. So if you want to become less nervous, breathe in through the nose, start by going from the bottom of your stomach, push that one out, continue breathing up into your chest and breathe out. If you can get that level of control in your presentations, you will reduce nervousness by up to 80%. But in the rare case that you go totally blank like Dennis here and you don't remember your manuscript or your next line, do what Dennis does here. Be honest and say, I'm sorry, I've gone totally blank here. I do apologize. Let me just look in my manuscript for just 1 second. Go over, have your manuscript on the side. Maybe they aren't allowed here, but if you have the opportunity to have your manuscript on a sheet besides you, go over, look at that, find where you are, what is your next line, and go back and do what Dennis does here. And just begin from the beginning or from the next line in your manuscript. Now, if you think that is a bad way and that Dennis here has totally blown his presentation, I think we should look on and see what happens next.
Hello, my name is Dennis Fuller. I'm here to tell you about my new company and my new product, Golfer's Mates. There are approximately 5 million golfers in the United Kingdom. Golfers need certain pieces of equipment to play their game. The obvious ones being golf clubs, golf balls, etc. Something else that every golfer carries is this little thing here. It's called a pitchfork or a pitch mark repairer. This ball is normally hit in with a wedge or something, and it will make an indentation, which is called a pitch mark. The pitch mark is always repaired instantly by every responsible golfer, like so. You merely lift the ground around that, and then just pat it down, and there's no harm done. What makes this different from other pitchforks is that it is made of zinc, and then in the back we have a pencil sharpener. Golf cards are always marked in pencil, tradition. So with this thing, you can sharpen your pencil. The big market, I believe, is corporate. This little thing will carry any advertising logo you want, inexpensively. It's an inconsequential purchase. It's less than 10 quid retail. We believe that we could quite easily sell 400,000 of these in our second year.
The reason why he's going and you feel that he's almost pressing his words forward and he's looking a bit tense is because he's still not breathing correctly. Just remember that all of your nervousness can be reduced by an incredible amount just by breathing correctly.
We've already sold a couple of thousand, and I'm also having negotiations with Paddy Power, the bookmakers, at the moment. I'm actually the chairman of a fairly successful company, so I can run a business.
He's trying to establish some trust and credibility when he mentioned that he is the chairman of a fairly successful company. Look at his body language as he mentioned this. There is a fine line between being proud of something and being observed as arrogant. And that thin line can be crossed if you try to make yourself bigger, your chin is going up, you're standing like this, and if you don't want to be perceived as arrogant, relax your body language, lower your chin, because that in body language terms is sign of humbleness. That is actually a better way to be perceived as someone who is proud of something they have achieved instead of arrogant.
I think this would be a great investment, and I think I would enjoy working with you. Thank you.
I don't play golf, so you're going to have to help me understand what else there is around. So if I wanted to do all of the things that are on this gadget,
Yeah.
what would I have to buy?
You would have to have a ball marker, a pitchfork repairer,
Yeah.
and a pencil sharpener.
OK. And how many of these other things are sold by a golf club? The pitch repairer, how much are they sold?
They're quite popular items because, again...
How popular is quite popular? How many are actually sold?
I've no idea. I don't run a pro shop, so I've no idea, Deborah. I'm really sorry.
Dennis, that's not a good answer, is it?
Well,
you're asking me to invest
it's the truth.
in... It's the truth.
It's the truth.
It is the truth.
There is no one that I can tell you the figures I know.
Dennis, listen to me. First of all, as an investor, it's nice for you to listen to my questions. That's the first thing, because we might be having a bit of a laugh here.
Never interrupt. When you are speaking, when you are negotiating, never interrupt.
At that point, it's going to get serious.
Yeah.
You're lovely. You're charming. You're engaging, and you're having a lovely giggle. You're having a lovely giggle. You're not listening to my questions.
I am.
What I need to know from you is that's what it is, that's the size of the market, and that's how much money you're going to make out of it. And you haven't covered off 2 of those 3 elements.
Good point. Thank you.
So what are you going to do, Deborah?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Out.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, he actually loses one of the dragons because he isn't negotiating well. He's interrupting her, which is perceived as being rude. He doesn't know his market. He doesn't know his potential sales. Those are 2 things that you need to have in your spine. You need to know your numbers. Extremely important in order to establish credibility. But she says he's lovely, he's charming, he's engaging, and he still didn't really perform as well in the beginning of his pitch as he would have wanted. So take this lesson. You can salvage and save your pitch if you are doing like Dennis did here. Start over from the beginning, excuse yourself. Everybody will understand that you are nervous. If you are being honest about that instead of trying to hide it and just push forward, if you instead dare to be vulnerable and say, I'm sorry, I lost my track of thoughts, you can be perceived here as someone who is engaging, who is lovely, who is charming. But in this case, he lost one of the dragons due to poor negotiation skills.
You said you run a successful company.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I own an employment agency, a 6-branch employment agency.
So you could give up your job and make a living with that?
I don't need to. I won't sell the agency. I own 65% of the business. I'm the chairman. All I get involved in these days is budgeting, forecasting and organising the Christmas party, which they've stopped me doing because I copped it out last year.
Oh dear. That's honesty. Dennis, tell me a bit about your employment agency.
What this humoristic touch of honesty also do is that it increases trust even more, because people are more inclined to believe what you are saying if you share something embarrassing about yourself, which he does here about the Christmas party. So it's a psychological trick here. If you want to be perceived as somebody who is credible, tell something embarrassing, a small embarrassing detail, and people tend to believe you more.
The Dragons have warmed to Dennis's character, but not so far to his product.
If I was to invest £100,000, Dennis, how long would it take me to get my money back?
I'm confident we can sell 60,000 in 23 weeks, which means obviously we're going to sell nearly 2,000 a week.
When you use that phrase, I would be confident, how confident would you be?
If the order from Paddy Power comes through, that's 10,000 immediately. I've also have an agent in Ireland who's paying me €10,000 for the right to sell it for a year, and we still haven't done a deal with Coombe in Germany, but there could be a deal there.
3 strong arguments, really great.
Dennis, I'm not really a golfer, but I think there's a big market for the corporate sector, so I can see your volume.
I'm confident we can sell 60,000. If we sell 30,000...
Using the word confident a little much though.
I've had it for a year, and I would imagine next year with your marketing expertise, if we can take it to Europe and hopefully the States, we'll sell 400,000, and eventually 3 years' time you'll be selling $1 million a year.
Potential sales.
Love it.
This is really great.
I'd like to make you an offer, Dennis. Happy to offer you the full amount, so you've got £100,000, and I would want 30% of the business.
I'd have a deal with you. I would say to you, OK, I'd go to 25% for 100,000 with a proviso that you give me the option to buy back 15% for the original 100,000 that you put in 12 months' time.
I like your style, Dennis.
Thank you. I like you too.
Nice bit of negotiating there.
Good negotiation.
I know I can make this work.
On that basis, you have a full offer from me. We got a deal?
On that basis, I'll accept it. We have a deal.
Dennis's skills finally come to the fore, and he leaves with the cash and the dragon expertise he desperately wanted.
As you can see here, you don't need to make the perfect pitch all the time in order to win the heart of the audience and maybe go home with investment or increase your sales. 3 important things that you can learn from this video. Number 1, control your nervousness by breathing correctly. I know that sounds silly, I know that sounds boring, but I promise you, it is in fact the truth. And number 2, if you become so nervous that you don't remember what to say, be honest. Apologize and have maybe, if you can, a paper on the side with your manuscript. Go over to it, look at it, and come back, and you can start from the beginning or where you find yourself to be in your manuscript. And number 3, know your numbers, know the potential market, know the potential sales. If you don't know that is really going to hurt your credibility. That was all from me from this episode. If you love Dragon's Den, if you want to learn more about pitch and presentation and negotiation techniques, hit subscribe on this channel and you will get a notification the next time there is a new episode of Dragon's Den Pitch Review. Thank you.